Coming up on this edition of Chris 6 Sunrise, Corpus Christi is drilling for water on private land to avoid an emergency. We'll tell you why the city evidently changed its mind.
And arsenic levels in Robstown water are sparking concern. We'll hear from the neighbors who are most affected.
And new legislation could require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. I'll tell you what it could mean for Coastal Bend voters. Your Chris 6 Sunrise starts now. Hey, good Wednesday morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Chris 6 Sunrise and waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, we made it to the middle of the week, so we got to get you ready for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see how the roadways and weather are looking today. Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Well, good morning, you guys. You know, we've made it to the middle of the week already, and temperatures are ever so warming up. We're getting into the 60s now for all of us out there, and once again dealing with a little bit of fog as you work into some of our inland neighborhoods. Here's a live view from our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. 64 degrees is what we're down to here in Corpus Christi. Those winds out of the southeast about 3 miles an hour, but the new Harbor Bridge is in view and traffic is flowing nice and smooth along it this morning. The same goes for SPID. A few more cars on that roadway, but not tracking any slowdowns as of right now. What we are tracking is some of these visibilities working their way down the board. Areas like Alice and Beeville seeing some of the most reduced visibilities as of right now. If you run into any of that, want to make sure you give yourself some extra time on those roadways, but other than that, we're coming in around the 60s this morning. We're going to be on the warm up into those upper 70s and can't rule out just 1 or 2 very light isolated showers working their way through pretty quickly from about 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. today. In terms of that traffic flow, right now we're good and green across the entire area, not tracking any of those slowdowns on the Harbor Bridge or 361 there between Portland and Ingleside, including our major roadways here in Corpus Christi. It's looking like a pretty good and green Wednesday morning. Just keep the jacket handy for maybe that rain that works in later.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Appreciate it. So the Corpus Christi City Council did approve a deal to expand groundwater drilling into private land to avoid a level 1 water emergency. The city once said that it wouldn't cross that line, but reversed course on Tuesday. The vote allows the city to expand its western well field into land owned by the Ed Rochelle Foundation. The city leaders said that the project could eventually add up to 15 million gallons of water per day, starting with 6 wells at a cost of $28 million. But not everyone is on board.
Am I concerned? You bet I am. And what we need to remember, the public needs to remember, is that this is the city's fault. They had no plan.
The mayor says circumstances have changed as the city counts down to November and the possibility of a level 1 water emergency. City leaders say that desal remains the long-term solution, but these wells are a viable resource until that happens.
Corpus Christi City Council approved a deal aimed at easing the city's water shortage. Under the agreement, Flint Hills Resources will use up to 2 million gallons a day of treated wastewater for industrial purposes at its West refinery. The water will be processed at the Allison treatment plant, freeing up drinking water for residents and businesses during the drought. Flint Hills will cover all costs to install and operate the equipment and creating a new revenue stream for the city. The project could start at 1 million gallons a day and expand to 2 million. Now, folks, head on over to christv.com and click on the Running Dry tab. There you can catch up on everything we've covered when it comes to the Coastal Bend's water issues.
So last week we told you about arsenic levels in Robstown water that were exceeding federal limits, and now that discovery is raising some concerns in the community. And neighbors recently received this letter after the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality notified Nueces County Water Control and Improvement District number 3 about this issue. Neighbor News reporter Stephanie Molina spoke with the people most affected. That's, of course, the neighbors who live there.
It's a little concerning because I don't know what that word means, but that doesn't mean good.
Now that you mention, watching the futures or whatever, yeah, not safe.
And the district says that this is not an emergency right now, and they are looking for solutions. If you happen to have any questions, though, you're encouraged to reach out to them. Their phone number is 361-387-4549.
Well, howdy and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a live view from our studio sky cam. It's 64 degrees out there. Winds are pretty light, around 3 miles an hour right now, but we've got downtown and the new Harbor Bridge in view. Some of that low cloud cover going on, but luckily not too much in terms of fog here in Corpus Christi right now. Let's start off with a look back at yesterday, though. We were on the warm up in terms of those morning lows. We're continuing that trend into today with the 60s around right now, but yesterday we got down to 57 degrees, up to 79 degrees in terms of that daytime high, well shy of the record 90 we set back there in 1957. Of course, also watching that rainfall deficit climb up the board ever so slowly closer to that 2-inch mark. In terms of our current fog going on, not too bad right now. At least Beeville on the rise in terms of visibilities. They were down to 1/3 of a mile at one point. Now we're sitting around 4 miles of visibility. Alice, Kingsville, Falfurrias off to the south, still reading a little bit of reduced visibility. So luckily it's not less than 1 mile out there right now. But if we do see some quick development, if you do run into any of that fog, just make sure to give yourself a little bit extra caution on those roadways. For our temperatures, almost all of us in the 60s. Freer at 59 degrees. Hebronville to the southwest, that's going to be our cool spot, coming in at 58 degrees. Then our warm spot, as usual for the most part, is Port Aransas coming in at 67. As you're waking up in Ingleside, you're going to be feeling about 65 degrees this morning. Through the afternoon, though, nonetheless, all of us going to be on the warm up into those upper 70s, even getting close to 80 degrees in terms of those daytime highs. Feels like temperatures likely to push into those lower 80s for us as we're heading into it because of all that moisture in our atmosphere. And then as we go into tonight, once again, the 60s expected for those overnight lows. Here's how it's going to play out on our future tracker. You heard me talk about that isolated shower or two. They're not going to be super heavy, it looks like. We have a stalled frontal boundary that's moving into the area. Well, a cold front that stalls out over us, I should say. That's going to stir up some light rain activity, just those specks of green on the radar once again as we're heading through about 10, 11 a.m. and into the noon hour. As we're heading further and further through the afternoon, I think we clear up more and more and push into those upper 70s before the 60s make the return for those overnight lows like I talked about. And then as we're heading through the next few days, doesn't look too strong in terms of those rain chances until we get into Valentine's Day for another rain chance. That's where we're watching this next upper level trough that's right now over by the west coast. Going to work into the Lone Star State as we head in towards Valentine's Day, and ahead of that cold front, well, this cold front that it brings works in by Valentine's Day night. We're going to see some rain chances ahead of that front whenever we see that prefrontal warming and plenty of moisture that we already have in the atmosphere. It's going to stir up some more of those weak rain chances for us, so I wouldn't cancel all of those Valentine's Day plans because right now looks mainly isolated to those morning hours. Of course, we'll update you more on that as it gets a little bit closer. Looking pretty breezy for Friday, but after that cold front moves through Valentine's Day evening, looks to dry us out pretty well and cool us off a little bit as we're heading into next week.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. This week, the House of Representatives passed bipartisan housing reform. So how long might it take for you to feel it where you live? We go in depth.
And the Save America Act is one step closer to a vote on the U.S. House coming up on Sunrise. I find out what the citizenship requirements could mean for voters right here in the Coastal Bend. Welcome back, folks. The Save America Act is one step closer to a vote in the U.S. House. Late last night, the bill passed the Republican-controlled House Rules Committee and will be voted on by Congress today. The legislation would require proof of U.S. citizenship, like a birth certificate or a passport, for anyone registering to vote in federal elections. That's a move supporters say strengthens election integrity. Critics argue it could overwhelm election offices and make it harder for eligible American voters to cast their ballot. Wondering what this could mean for us right here in the Coastal Bend, I reached out. I spoke with Nueces County voter registrar Kevin Kieschnick.
Well, it's concerning, mainly because of how are we going to gather that information, and of course the devil's always in the details as far as what does the final version of this bill come out, and that's going to have direction on how that impacts our office and how that ultimately impacts the voters of Nueces County, the state of Texas. And
one of the biggest questions, funding. The bill, as written, does not include additional money for local offices. If it required voters to re-register en masse, the impact could be massive.
if it does require a full re-registration, in that case, we'd be looking at around 213,000 people re-registering to vote if the same number of people come out to actually re-register. So if you can imagine everybody in there coming to renew their vehicles all in the same day, that's about what it would look like.
Kieschnick also brought up the fact that if a non-U.S. citizen was accidentally allowed to vote, which has not happened to his knowledge under his watch, but a couple of times across the country, those in his department could be held criminally liable under the current language of this law. Now, election experts say that the Save America Act is likely to pass the Republican-controlled House today, but it faces a much steeper climb in the U.S. Senate, where Democrats and even some election administrators have raised concerns about voter access, with estimates of over 21 million Americans unable to readily provide the required documents and thus unable to vote. I'll, of course, keep you updated on the outcome and any changes to the bill that may affect voters right here in the Coastal Bend.
Housing affordability remains one of the top issues on the minds of Americans. And while the fallout from the Epstein saga, as well as frequent government shutdowns, dominate many political stories these days, something is happening in Washington on a bipartisan basis, a push for housing reform. Financial pressures are only getting worse for millions of Americans. 9 in 10 Americans believe we're in a cost of living crisis, according to new research by Current and conducted by Talker Research. And housing is a big reason why. Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies this month announced new census analysis. The number of cost-burdened households rose to record highs in 2024 as housing affordability remained a widespread challenge. But this week in Washington, steps are being taken to potentially make it easier to not just buy a home, but afford to live in one. This week, the House of Representatives passed the Housing for the 21st Century Act. The vote was 390 to 9. The bipartisan legislation increases community bank lending, encourages updates to local zoning laws that often limit new construction. It lowers costs of manufactured homes and makes it easier to convert vacant office buildings into apartments. Now the housing debate heads to the Senate, where a separate but similar bill is anticipated to be voted on soon. Dennis Shea is the executive vice president at the Bipartisan Policy Center and says incentivizing local governments to change zoning laws remains a big part of this bill.
Since the Great Recession, I think it would be the most consequential housing package out of Congress.
A big question is how quickly housing reforms in Congress could ultimately impact the housing supply and prices.
I'd say years.
Danielle Hale is the chief economist at Realtor.com and says if this legislation becomes law, it will make a difference, but it will take time.
I think the challenging thing about tackling the housing shortage is that there is no silver bullet solution. You got to do a lot of little things and you got to do them well.
While Congress debates housing changes, President Trump is moving forward with plans of his own. The president has said he believes his pick to lead the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, will further cut interest rates. And the president's upcoming State of the Union address at the end of the month is expected to discuss other housing goals like restrictions on investment groups from purchasing single-family homes. Joe St. George, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Well, howdy and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live look from our USS Lexington cam thanks to First Community Bank. Fairly warm out there. We're in the 60s for most of our temperatures. Here in Corpus Christi coming in at 64 degrees with those winds out of the southeast. They're pretty light for most of us, about 3 miles an hour here in Corpus Christi. And those light winds are allowing for some fog to develop. Luckily, most of our neighborhoods and just like here on the Lex cam, coming in the clear for the most part. Let's start off with a look at the past 10 hours. It's been a pretty slow cool down for the most part. 71 degrees from 8 p.m. last night, 66 at midnight, and then we've been holding on to those upper and mid 60s. As of now, our coolest temperatures down to 64 degrees over at the International Airport. Let's take a closer look at some of those temperatures with our Chris 6 neighborhood weather network now. Starting off with the south side, Pebble Beach Drive coming in at 66 degrees, matching that on San Benito Drive, and then 64 as you work your way a little further south down towards Garden Court. Now as we wake up over there by Portland, coming in the 60s, 60s, also 64, if not 65 degrees as you're waking up in Portland, and a little bit further inland, closer to George West, coming in at 63 degrees. Over around Lake Corpus Christi, 65 on County Road 803 currently. So all of us coming in around the 60s, and as we go through the rest of the day, those temperatures going to be on the warm up. Let's start off with that dog walk forecast for planning that out. Today we've got Puppy and Alice over there in Aransas County with ready to go on their walk over by the Ingleside Park, their favorite place to take a walk, it was saying. And as we look at those temperatures, it is going to be on the warm up pretty nicely, even pushing into those 70s by the lunchtime hour. But one thing to note, by about 10, 11 a.m., even into the early afternoon, we could see 1 or 2 light showers try to form up. They're going to be pretty light out there. They're not going to be super heavy downpours that set up or a ton in terms of those rainfall totals, but could see one of those quick passing showers if you're out there. For our forecast highs, we're all going to be on the warm up into those upper 70s, if not 80 degrees. Here's how it's going to be playing out on our future tracker, with those specks of green making their return to the radar as we're heading into the later morning and early afternoon. But portions of the later afternoon and evening, just looking at that partly cloudy skies for us, I should say, and that's going to help cool us back down into the 60s for those overnight lows as we head into tonight. So for our current 7-day forecast, we're looking well above average in those 80s as we go through Valentine's Day, holding on to 84 degrees there by Valentine's Day, and even a few morning showers we could see around the area. But by Valentine's Day evening, we should be clear for right now is what the forecast is calling for. That cold front moves through, dries us out for Sunday, and to kick off next week, going to be a little cooler in those upper 70s.
Stephen, thank you so much. So new road projects are getting approved around the coastal bend. Coming up on Sunrise, why some of them might cause traffic headaches in the near future. Welcome back, folks. Corpus Christi City Council has approved a 2-year project to reconstruct Alameda Street from Airline to Everhard. It's going to bring new pavements, sidewalks, and utility upgrades, but also expect those traffic delays and possible road closures along one of the city's busiest corridors. Business owners in the area say that could make it harder for customers to reach their stores and could hurt sales during construction. Now, owners say they understand the need for improved roads, but say clear access, communication, and support from the city will be key to helping small businesses survive the next 2 years.
Well, hey there, and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a live view from our Snoopy sky cam thanks to Matthew CCAC. 65 degrees out there, a few cars on the causeway, but still flowing nice and smooth this morning. And really same goes for SPID, a few more cars on that roadway, but luckily not tracking any of those slowdowns, just a couple of those reducing visibilities across the board. Mainly over towards areas like Alice and Beeville, seeing some of those reduced visibilities. Also starting to notice that in Port Aransas, developing a little bit of fog out there. If you do run into any, just make sure to give yourself some extra time on the roadways. As we're going through the rest of our Wednesday, can't rule out just 1 or 2 isolated showers as we're heading towards about that lunchtime hour. Nonetheless, as we head into the afternoon, we're going to be on the warm-up, chasing about 79, if not 80 degrees for that daytime high. Here's how our current traffic is flowing across the coastal bend. Looking like good and green traffic flow there on the Harbor Bridge. Just some minor slowdowns there on 361 between Gregory and Ingleside, but here on our major roadways in Corpus Christi, coming in the clear for SPID, Saratoga, and Ocean Drive there. So not tracking any of those slowdowns, just looking like a good and green Wednesday morning as we're starting it off.
This morning on the 3rd hour of Today, NFL legend Drew Brees is live in Studio 1A. Plus, shrinking star Ted McGinley stops by, and the products chosen for the Hair Awards. That's all this morning on the 3rd hour of Today.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live view from our USS Lexington cam, thanks to First Community Bank. We've got a little bit of cloud cover overhead, but luckily not too much in terms of fog here on Corpus Christi. We've got the aquarium and the new Harbor Bridge in view, both nice and lit up for our Wednesday morning, and those temperatures not too bad out there. 64 degrees is what we're at in Corpus Christi, with a light wind out of the southeast about 3 miles an hour. In terms of those visibilities, there's a couple patches of fog, mainly over towards Kingsville and Alice, reading a little bit of reduced visibility down to about 8 miles. Up there towards Beeville, they were as low as a third of a mile. Now they're up to about 5 miles of visibility, but also noticing Port Aransas started to see that reduced visibility down to about 4 statute miles of visibility right now. Temperature-wise, we're waking up to the 60s almost across the board. Freer is in 59 degrees. Hebbronville, you're waking up to about 58 degrees, but the rest of us coming in the 60s. San Diego at 60 degrees on the money, 64 degrees as you're waking up in Robstown. As we're getting ready to go through our next few hours, though, let's take a look at the dog walking forecast. Today we've got Puppy and Alice on the board over there in Aransas County, ready to go on their walk for sure. And as we look at those temperatures, they're going to be on the warm up pretty nicely. 74 by 11 a.m., 76 by 1 p.m. But another thing to notice, could see an isolated shower or two, especially in the later morning hours heading towards about lunchtime. So keep that in mind. Maybe keep the umbrella handy, but in terms of heavy downpours, not likely to see any today. Here's how it's playing out on our future tracker. We have this weak cold front that's working in, but pretty much stalls out overhead. So that's what's going to be the cause for some of these specks of green on the radar. Not those huge downpours that are setting up, but we're going to take every drop we can get for right now. As we head in through the later afternoon, though, looks to clear out of the area. Those partly cloudy skies warm us up into the upper 70s, if not 80 degrees for that daytime high here as we're going into later portions of today. And under those partly cloudy skies tonight, once again back into the 60s with another chance for some of that fog as we head into tomorrow morning. For that next better chance of rain, though, we're looking ahead to the weekend, specifically towards Valentine's Day. I'm looking at this upper level trough that's on the west coast towards California right now. By that Valentine's Day time frame, works into the to the Lone Star State here. That's going to send a good cold front into the coastal bend as we head into Valentine's Day evening, Saturday night, if you will, of course. And Saturday morning, that's where we look to have the best chance of rain in before that cold front makes its way into the area. So looks like we could pick up just a little bit of rain and then see a decent cool down as we head into Sunday. But unfortunately, we're going to remain well above average, well into the red as we're heading through these next 10 days. You could see by Saturday, with that cold front works in, brings our daytime highs down slightly as we're kicking off that next week of February. But really, as we head through the entire next 8 to 14 days for that outlook from the National Weather Service, well above average temperatures are expected in terms of the entire southern United States going into it. For some of those below average temperatures, looking like it's pretty much isolated to the west coast. So those 6 more weeks of winter, we'll see if it's not going to be an early spring for us as we're heading in through the rest of February and into the early March period for us. For this current 7-day forecast, looking nice and warm in those 80s with plenty of sunshine as we're heading through these next few days. By Valentine's Day, I'm eyeing a few of those morning showers, but I wouldn't cancel any of your outdoor plans. Looks like we're going to clear up into that afternoon. Then that cold front works in, dries us out as we're heading into Sunday and next week with a little bit of slightly cooler temperatures in those upper 70s by President's Day.
It's sacred ground, and to them it's like a place of honor, solace.
But for some veterans, the experience didn't match the honor described. Coming up on Sunrise, I'll show you why some say they felt unrecognized at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
When there's a ceremony meant to honor veterans and military history, you'd expect veterans to be at the center of it. But several local veterans are saying that didn't happen at a recent event. And they're now speaking out, saying they felt left out at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park. So the issue all stems from a ceremony held last Thursday at the park when the city dedicated the new helicopter monument. But over the weekend, concerns began circulating. I was looped into this pretty lengthy email. It was sent to the mayor and city council members, raising issues with how the event was handled. The message came from Martin Longoria, a U.S. Army veteran and the chairman for the Corpus Christi Mayor's Committee of Veterans Affairs. He said he was speaking on behalf of about 20 local veterans organizations, some of which felt more veterans should have been included in the ceremony.
It was more politicized. Veterans felt kind of like, well, this isn't right. It should have been more veteran-centric, more veteran involved than politicized.
For Longoria, this isn't just about one event. For years, he's been deeply involved in supporting veterans in the community and helping organize ceremonies meant to remember those who served from our neighborhoods and those who never made it home.
Mr. Longoria, you know, in the past almost 4 years of me being here, this is the first time I've actually heard you kind of speak out about something that bothered you.
You know, people just forget. Time has gone by and history just kind of fades. As as veterans in the community, if we don't remember, who will?
Now, after I reached out to the city to see how they're responding to the concerns raised, they actually sent me this statement that reads in part, quote, "The city of Corpus Christi sincerely apologizes if any offense was caused during the recent dedication of the helicopter at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park." And it goes on to say, "We hold deep appreciation for the sacrifices our veterans have made and remain committed to honoring their service." Now, folks, we will continue listening to your concerns and making sure they're addressed. If you are a veteran and you'd like to reach out to us, make sure you contact us through our Veterans in Focus hotline.
Well, hey there and happy Wednesday. Coastal Bend taking a live view from our Snoopy Skycam now thanks to Matthew CCAC. Nice and cloudy out there, but luckily not too much fog as we're looking across Corpus Christi. 65 degrees is what we're reading here by Snoopy Skycam. Winds out of the southeast at 3 miles an hour, and luckily not too much traffic there on the causeway or really on SPID. Just a few more cars on that roadway, but not looking too bad in terms of those slowdowns at least. In terms of visibilities, we are starting to see some of those reduced visibilities on the board, mainly in areas like Beeville and Alice right now. Port Aransas also starting to see a little bit of that development of the fog there. Across the board, our temperatures are in those upper 50s, if not the 60s right now for most of us. 67 degrees is what you're waking up to in Port Aransas. 62 is you're waking up over there in Kingsville. Keep in mind as we go through the rest of our morning hours, can't rule out 1 or 2 of those isolated showers as we're heading through about 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. is what I'm eyeing for it. It's only going to be isolated at best, though, not those heavy downpours you want to see, but we're still going to take every drop we can get in the rain bucket for right now. Here's how it's looking up on our daily planner for us. Those temperatures are warming up pretty nicely into the upper 70s for daytime highs across the entire coastal bend, if not those lower 80s. Those showers move out of the way by the afternoon, making way for the partly cloudy skies, and luckily winds not looking too bad today either, only going to be out of the east for us, 5 to 10 miles an hour as we're heading into it. Through the rest of the week, though, we're going to remain well above average. Those temperatures only going to climb as we're going through towards Valentine's Day. Then we're looking towards that next cold front to work back into the region, which stirs up a weak rain chance. I'll break down all those precipitation chances and our full 7-day forecast coming up.
Coming up on Sunrise, a line they said they would not cross. Corpus Christi is drilling for water on private land to avoid an emergency. We'll show you why the city changed its mind.
I'm Stephanie Molina in Robstown. Neighbors got this letter about arsenic in their water. I'm listening to their worries and getting answers from officials.
What do you do when your furniture vanishes and so does your money? I'm Tony Jaramillo with a woman's month-long nightmare and what the furniture store is saying.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Hey there, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, you just saw we have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning. But first, we always got to check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see how the weather and roads are looking today. Hey, good morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Well, good morning, you guys. You know, it is looking just great out there this morning. The only thing, maybe just a little bit humid because we do have some fog working into some of our neighborhoods. But luckily, here in Corpus Christi, still pretty clear here on the Lexington cam. Of course, thank you to First Community Bank for this view. 64 degrees is what we're down to here in Corpus Christi with the New Harbor Bridge in view there. The traffic flowing nice and smoothly along it this morning. Not tracking any of those major slowdowns over on SPID. More of the same. A few more cars on that roadway, but not tracking any slowdowns as of right now. Here's where we are standing in terms of our visibilities. Seeing Beeville and Alice with some of those most reduced visibilities. Port Aransas also seeing some of that fog develop down to about 3 miles of visibility right now, but across the board in terms of our temperatures coming in the 60s this morning. Through the rest of our day, we're going to be on the warm up into those upper 70s for daytime highs. From about 10 a.m. through 2 p.m., I'm eyeing the chance for maybe an isolated shower or two trying to work into the area, so you could keep that umbrella handy if you want. But in terms of that traffic flow, still pretty nice and green this morning. Only slowdown we're seeing right now is on 361 between Gregory and Ingleside, maybe a few extra minutes there, but other than that, looking like a good and green Wednesday morning.
Good to know. Stephen, thank you so much. The Corpus Christi City Council approved a deal to expand groundwater drilling onto private land to avoid a level 1 water emergency. And the city once said it wouldn't cross that line, but reversed course Tuesday. The vote allows the city to expand its western well field onto land owned by the Ed Rochelle Foundation. City leaders say the project could eventually add up to 15 million gallons of water per day, starting with 6 wells at a cost of $28 million. But not everyone is on board.
Am I concerned? You bet I am. And what we need to remember, the public needs to remember, is that this is the city's fault. They had no plan.
The mayor says circumstances have changed as the city counts down to November and the possibility of a level 1 water emergency. And city leaders say desalination remains the long-term solution, but these wells are a viable resource until then.
So Corpus Christi City Council approved a deal aimed at easing the city's water shortage, at least partially, right? Under the agreement, Flint Hills Resources will use up to 2 million gallons a day of treated wastewater. That's for industrial purposes at its West refinery. The water will be processed at the Allison Treatment Plant, freeing up drinking water for residents and businesses during the drought. Flint Hills will cover all costs to install and operate the equipment, creating a new revenue stream for the city. The project could start at 1 million gallons a day and expand to 2 million. And of course, you can head on over to christv.com and click on the Running Dry tab. There you can catch up on everything we've been covering for you when it comes to the Coastal Bend's water issues.
Robstown neighbors described to me how their water tastes like. Last week, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality informed the Nueces County Water Control and Improvement District 3 their drinking water exceeded federal arsenic limits. So I took this concern to NCWCID 3. The district says they currently have licensed professionals trying to find out the source and note the tributary creeks, wells, and lakes are low. They tell me this is what makes arsenic levels rise. Marcos Alani says they are taking precautions and special samplings. Although officials tell me this is not an emergency, they are aware of the health concerns from neighbors. The news now has neighbors thinking twice about their water. Nueces County Water Control and Improvement District 3 recommends continuing business as usual. They say they are looking for solutions for this issue. If you have any questions, you're encouraged to reach out to them. In Robstown, I'm Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your Southside neighborhood news reporter. A Corpus Christi woman says she paid hundreds of dollars in cash for this love seat that was never delivered. And when she asked for a refund, it didn't come. So she reached out to me and I took her concerns to the store for answers. Maria Garcia says she paid in cash for this love seat from Bell Furniture on December 15th, 2025.
And I paid cash because I got all the money that we had for Christmas and to pay for it because I didn't want to have payments.
Nearly $700 later, Maria Garcia didn't see that love seat.
I told her, I said, if you're not going to deliver the furniture, I want a refund.
Bell Furniture says they did not have the cash on hand because it was a larger transaction. Maria says they promised her a cashier's check within 2 weeks at the beginning of January, but those 2 weeks passed and she had no check. So I reached out to Bell Furniture to get their side of the story.
Well, she purchased an Ashley product, which is merchandise that we don't carry on hand, and it does have to get special ordered. And unfortunately, Ashley is backed up a little bit on their product coming into our stores. Unfortunately, it's a little slow sometimes, but we do want to take care of our customers and not have anything like that happen. I understand it's their hard-earned money.
The district manager says the company never wants a customer to feel this way and apologize for the delay. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
Since 1989, the whereabouts of then 13-year-old Elisa Roberson have remained a mystery, but her family has yet to waver in their search for answers. But this week, a possible new development in the case. Officers from multiple agencies on the scene of the former Roberson home, one of the last locations Elisa was seen. Her sister Ruby explaining what this all means.
State-of-the-art equipment that can detect if there's any anomalies in the ground.
And depending on the findings, they could soon gain access to long-sought case files.
This is the hope. This is the hope that we'll be able to find Elisa, that we'll be able to find some answers and get closer to the closure that our family needs.
If you have any information that can help in the search for Elisa, you can call the Corpus Christi Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. Reporting in Aransas Pass, I'm Adam Beam for Chris 6 News.
Well, howdy and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a live view from our Snoopy Skycam thanks to Matthew CCAC, a decent dose of cloud cover overhead. Luckily, not too much fog here on the Snoopy Skycam, but temperature's pretty nice out there. Down to 65 degrees here at Snoopy Skycam, about 64 degrees here in downtown Corpus Christi, so not a huge ton of variation, I should say, across the Coastal Bend this morning. But in terms of that fog, we are starting to see some areas get better and some areas get a little bit worse in terms of those visibilities. Port Aransas down to about 3 miles of visibility this morning. Beeville was down to a third of a mile of visibility at one point. Now they're up to about 5 miles up there. Corpus Christi down to around 7 miles of visibility, so seeing just a light development of that fog here in Corpus Christi now. As we're going through the next few hours, though, these temperatures going to be on the warm up. Right now we're sitting in the 60s for most of us, 66 there in Ingleside, 67 our warm spot in Port Aransas, but for our cool spot, we head off to the west a little bit. San Diego coming in at 64 degrees, but Freer 59. Hebbronville matching that 59 degrees for our cool spot this morning. As we're going through the next few hours, here's our dog walking forecast, planning that out for you. Today we've got Puppy and Alice on the board as our stars of the show over there in Aransas County. Their favorite place to take a walk over along Ingleside Park, so not too bad of a day for it. Just the only thing we want to watch out for, maybe a couple of isolated showers trying to sneak in by about 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. this afternoon. They're not going to be huge downpours, but maybe keep the umbrella handy just for that. Temperature-wise, we're going to be on the warm-up 75 degrees by noon and even into those upper 70s as we head through the rest of our afternoon hours. Here's how we're looking in terms of our future tracker. Just those specks of green going to be making their return to our radar. This is the result of a stalled frontal boundary we're going to have overhead, just stirring up a little bit of activity, so not going to be a total drought buster, no, but we're still going to take every drop we can get. As we go through the afternoon, we'll clear up pretty nicely, see those partly cloudy skies and temperatures on the rise into the upper 70s for some of those daytime highs. So that's how we're shaping up in terms of today and then into tonight. Just those partly cloudy skies taking us back down into the 60s and another chance for some of that fog as we head into tomorrow morning. For our next better rain chance, I'd say, as we head into Valentine's Day is where we're looking for that. That's going to be a result of this next upper level trough working in. That's right now on the west coast. By the time we're heading in towards Valentine's Day, works into the Lone Star State. Going to help us out with some of that upper level energy in advance of the cold front. So we might see some of that rain into Saturday morning, but by Saturday evening that cold front works in and cools us off just slightly as we kick off next week. You can see that here on our forecast high temperatures. They're going to take a slight downturn as we head into next week, but overall still going to remain well above average, and that average should be about 71 degrees. In terms of our current 7-day forecast, more like 80 degrees is what we're going to be chasing for those daytime highs. By Valentine's Day, even looking at 84 degrees. That cold front works in, cools us off just slightly as we head into President's Day, going to be around that 78 degree mark.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
All right, to start off this list, authorities in Arizona are searching a house in connection to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. According to a woman who owns the place in Rio Roco, the police were questioning her son-in-law and that he, quote, had nothing to do with that. That's what she said. She allowed authorities to come inside her house, saying she has nothing to hide. So far, there's been no word from the FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Nancy Guthrie is the mother of the Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
President Trump is welcoming Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House today. Netanyahu plans to discuss possible military options against Iran. Israeli sources say Netanyahu will present fresh intelligence on Iran's military capabilities. Israel remains skeptical that U.S. negotiations with Iran will succeed, though. This comes after Israel's surprise attack on Iran's military and nuclear facilities in June. That 12-day conflict ended when Trump demanded Netanyahu call off another wave of attacks.
Corpus Christi leaders are fighting to protect jobs over at the Army Depot amid a push by federal leaders to downsize. Mayor Paulette Guajardo and County Judge Connie Scott will hold a news conference this afternoon at 2:30 to outline strategies to safeguard employment at the military facility. The depot is a major economic driver for our region. Chris Six will have live coverage on all of our streaming platforms.
Aransas Pass is breaking ground on a new stormwater pump station today. The Wheeler and Huff station will add more than 15,000 gallons per minute of capacity, and that means better flood protection during severe weather. The project is funded through disaster recovery grants from the state, and the groundbreaking ceremony will take place at the intersection of Wheeler Avenue and Huff Street.
So over on Padre Island, the project, a long time in the making, is almost ready to open. We are talking about Bob Hall Pier, of course. It's officially going to be reopened February 24th. The iconic fishing pier will be free to the public for the first 90 days, that is. Nueces County Commissioner Brent Chesney says that the newly reconstructed pier will give everyone a chance to enjoy a popular destination.
Grow Local South Texas is hosting their first veggie voucher giveaway today at the Downtown Farmers Market. The first 100 kids will get a free $5 voucher, and the event runs from 5 to 8 tonight at the Arts Center on Shoreline Boulevard. There's also a free cooking demo and friendship bracelet making for families.
So the winningest football head coach in Miller football history, that's right, we're talking about Justin Evans right here. He's leaving the program after 9 seasons for a new job near Dallas. So Sports Director Larissa Liska has more on the mark that Evans left, and more importantly, how he put Miller on the map.
Let's go! I just say, just give me an opportunity. And CSSD did that. If I ever just get an opportunity to come back home and make an impact, that's what it's about for me. Bug Nation is so much bigger than me. You know, I've just been so blessed and honored to have led this program for the last 9 years.
Justin Evans leaves the Coastal Bend with 84 career wins and 36 losses after serving 10 years as a head coach. His first season at Alice and next 9 at Miller. He leaves behind a talented group.
You know, it was so hard to leave, you know, going down to 4A. You know, we kind of took some lumps this year, but I felt really, really good about what was in the building, and I still feel good about what's in the building.
The 2001 Moody grad has been hired with the Denton ISD to lead the 6A Braswell High School football team with over 300 athletes in the program.
So I watched every single game that they played, and I looked at their roster, and I looked at the building, and I looked at the setup. You know, their AD is a state championship coach, and so that was a draw because, I mean, he's done it at the highest level. He gets it.
77 of Evans' 84 wins came at Miller. Back in 2023, he surpassed 1960 state champion head coach Pete Regis, who previously led the Bucks with 57 wins. Evans led Miller to 3 district championships and advanced to playoffs the last 7 seasons. But that's not what he hopes to be remembered for.
I want to be remembered for the impact, the kids that we graduated, the kids that now have gone on, like your Andrew Bodies and Lonnie Atkinson and the Austin Lavells and, you know, the Trevor Longs and all those guys that have just, you know, gone on and just done great things.
Let's go. If you live for tomorrow, you lose today. Take care today, fellas. Buck Pride on 3. 1, 2, 3. Buck Pride. Still remember that, huh? Come on.
Thank you so much, Larissa. So the Corpus Christi Hooks are gearing up for their 21st season, and this with the announcement of their daily promotional themes.
The Hooks will host 69 home games at Whataburger Field, with opening night set for Thursday, April 2nd against the Frisco Rough Riders. Tuesdays feature Mike Shaw Automotive's 4 tickets for $40. Buy online at cchooks.com using the promo code HOOKS4 for $40. And Wednesdays are Whataburger Family Day. Buy 1 ticket, get 1 free with the code HOOKSBOGO.
So $3 Thursdays are back with $3 domestic beers and $3 off margaritas over at the First Base Bar and Valero's Champions Corner. And Friday night wrap up with Bud Light fireworks after the final out. Single game tickets go on sale Thursday, February 19th. For a full list of promotions, head on over to christv.com. Hooks games are always a good time,
right?
too.
I'm not really big on sports or baseball specifically, but it's always such a good vibe to be there.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, their margaritas, they're pretty on point. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been to a Hooks game here yet?
I have not while I've been here, but I've been to a Hooks game before I lived here, actually, when I was just vacationing here, because I always grew up playing baseball, so I was like, I have to catch a Hooks game while I'm in Corpus Christi. I'm planning to this season and catching some of those deals as we're heading into it, though. Looks like it's going to be a good time and hoping for some good weather similar to what we're seeing this week, hopefully in those 80s and plenty of sunshine. I don't think that'd be too bad as we're heading into April, because we're in February right now. We're feeling a little bit more like April in terms of those averages, at least for our temperatures. Here's a live view as we're starting off our Wednesday morning. This is from our studio sky cam. Now we're down to 65 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Those winds luckily still pretty light, only about 3 miles an hour right now, but we do have a decent dose of that cloud cover overhead. As we head through the rest of our morning hours, we're still dealing with a little bit of fog, but any that is left should start to dissipate as that sun continues to come up. Right now, reading the worst of it over by Port Aransas, that visibility down to around 3 miles right now. Beeville at one point was down to 1/3 of a mile. Now they're up to about 5 miles of visibility, so looking a little bit better across the coastal bend as of right now. And those temperatures, almost all of us in the 60s this morning. The cool spot is out west. Freer and Hebronville both rounding out about 59 degrees. Along the coast coming in at 67 for that warm spot in Port Aransas as of right now. Through the rest of our Wednesday, we're going to be on the warm up nonetheless, into those upper 70s for daytime highs this afternoon, if not even 80 degrees here in Corpus Christi and areas a little bit further south, looking like Falfurrias could get up to about 81 degrees for that daytime high. Either way, I do want to mention through about 10 a.m. through 2 p.m., there's the chance for an isolated shower or two. Now, these are going to be very light and very quick if you do see any of those showers, but just want to mention it, you could see a few drops on the windshield this morning. For our forecast highs around the area, like I said, those upper 70s, if not 80 degrees as we head into this afternoon. Here's how it's shaping up on our current future tracker. Just a few specks of the green returning to the radar as we head through about 10 a.m. through that 2 p.m. time frame is what we're really eyeing right now. Through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening, just those partly cloudy skies and warm temperatures as we go for those afternoon highs before the 60s make their return for overnight lows tonight, and then another chance for some fog as we head into tomorrow morning. So we're kind of on this repeat cycle as we head through the next couple of days, but by Valentine's Day on Saturday, we've got this next upper level trough that's going to work in, characterized by that cooler weather, and going to get that cold front as it works into the area by Saturday and on Valentine's Day. That's where it works in, and it's not going to be a huge cold front, but it's going to stir up just a weak rain chance as we're heading into Saturday morning for us. By Saturday evening, that cold front officially passes through and cools us off slightly for President's Day next week. Here's how it's on our 7-day forecast as of right now. A little breezy there by Friday, but 82 degrees and on the warm-up, 84 by Valentine's Day with a few morning showers, so I wouldn't cancel any of those afternoon or evening plans as of right now. That cold front works through, and we're looking at 78 degrees by President's Day, but then we're going to hold above average temperatures into next week. So when Punxsutawney Phil said 6 more weeks of winter, I still don't know if I'm agreeing with that forecast, you guys. We're looking a little warm right now.
But that's why we listen to you, Stephen, honestly.
Well, thank you. You know, we're looking pretty warm for February. I'm still not going to say we won't have any freezes, though. We could still have a strong cold front or two. Cross my fingers that we're out of that hair, though.
Best to be prepared. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, folks at home. We definitely appreciate it. From all of us at Chris 6 News, hope you have a great day.